crests come down the river as you look all the way to Cairo, Illinois, all the way down on the Mississippi River and Atchafalaya River. The Mississippi River crested in Cairo 3 feet above the previous record, which was the flood of 1927. And let's see, in Vicksburg, we're expecting the crest to be 1 foot above the previous record, which again was the flood of 1927. So you're going to see historic levels of water, no matter whether you measure them in foot or whether you measure them in flow. There's historic levels of water in the system. You know, there's a lot of discussion about operating the Morganza floodway and whether we will or whether we won't, and how come we're going to do this and you're doing this to save New Orleans or Baton Rouge and you're going to flood us at the cost of somebody else. That is absolutely not the case. That is absolutely not the case, and I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. Number one, whether we operate the Morganza structure or not, the way that's built, if you've never been up there, it's below LA1, Route 1, up in Morganza, okay? The gate comes up to about an elevation of 60 feet, okay? The highway bridge goes above it. The bottom of the highway bridge is at about 63 feet. So what do you think happens between 60 and 63? There's nothing but air, okay? So if we get to 61 feet, we've now got 1 foot of water coming over the top of that gate. So that water's coming over the gate. And it's not a good thing to have an uncontrolled flow of water. I would rather be able to control that flow of that water so I know how much is coming, when it's coming, and I can tell you when it's going to be there. So whether we operate that Morganza floodway or not, the water's going to come. We know that. Secondly, it's not an either or, as I said earlier. We're not flooding some to sacrifice others, because number one, that water's coming anyway. Number two, we're going to flood fight right here. We're going to flood fight right here. As Mayor Mott said, this is our battle line. I moved down to one of my mobile command posts. We have like a big RV. It's got satellite telephones, it's got internet, it's got VTC capability, we got CNN and Weather Channel. And I'll introduce Major Luis Gonzalez, Major G. I've sent Major G down here for a couple of weeks from New Orleans, and he's left his family back there, and he's going to be down here as long as it needs to be. He's running the operation out of my mobile command post. See these folks here in the white shirts? This is my team here on the ground. And there may only be a half dozen of them, but there's 1,500 folks back in New Orleans that they can reach back and touch when they need some information, or when they need some sandbags, or some HESCO, or some sheet pile, or some pumps, or just some technical knowledge and information so we can say, put this over here. No, put it over here. That's a better idea. Okay. So we're going to flood fight this thing right next door to you, shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm. How's she doing up there? It's kind of like being in church, you know? Okay, already so far, we've already issued out 40,000 sandbags and 10,000 feet of HESCO, and we got more coming. You guys know we got the lock over there at Bayou Buff? That's going to be where we're keeping our supplies. And so this is not a free-for-all, okay? The way this works, if the city needs something and they don't have it, they ask the parish. If the parish can't handle it, they ask the state. If the state can't handle it, they ask the Corps. And we'll provide them. That's kind of how that goes.